Okay, so thank you guys for joining. We have Abhishek, Sudarshan, and Malcolm. Thanks, guys, for joining in. Okay, so we'll start off with the first match, England Croatia. I felt it was one of the most boring matches of Euros. From the start to the end.
Again, I think you rightly put it. It was also one of the most boring games so far of the tournament. I think people say England have played quite well and all that. It was a good goal that whatever they took, and Calvin Phillips did well for that. But I think it was as much a case as Croatia were absolutely pathetic. I usually see them keeping the ball much better, and whenever opponents keep the ball well, England sort of fumble. But I think yesterday Croatia were completely out of sorts, and I think Gareth Southgate has given a lineup to play on the counter. Maybe even he didn't expect Croatia to play that bad. Even if they had another goal post or whatever, they wouldn't have scored. That's how it felt for me when I watched the game.
I was actually watching a watch along from another European channel, and the comments that the live feed had was that of only Luka Modric being the player that actually was playing with Croatia. I mean, for Croatia.
Yeah.
Yes, Pradeep. Actually, what Abhi was telling was up to the point, but I feel like we would have when you see England, they should have more concentrated on the midfield part as well as the attacking part. They should have more. They should have focused more on the midfield as well as the attacking because 1-0 that is not a big score. They should have attacked more when compared to Croatia because, as you already said, only Modric was playing the major part along with Croatia's team because none of the players didn't perform very well because only Luka was playing literally good.
Okay. But as we speak, I have the team match stats with me, and we actually have 8 shots by England and 8 shots by Croatia. And shots on target was actually same, 2 shots on target, and again Croatia have 2 shots on target. And the possession is also not that big of a difference, 49% for England and 51% for Croatia, and the passes was 453 for England and 457 for Croatia, and the pass accuracy for both the teams are actually 84%. So it's actually not a big difference at all for between these teams. Sudarshan, being into the coaching field, tell us about Southgate's vision for England.
Gareth Southgate. See, actually, it's very complicated because he is one guy. You never know what he has in his mind. I hope we will accept with that, and Malcolm will accept with that too, because we have discussed so many things about that. But the thing is, a lot of many of them didn't expect him to start Mings. And the other thing is, with Kieran Trippier on the left side, who's not a natural left back, the squad selection was kind of, I was confused with that. But one thing was for sure Calvin was holding the ball very well in the midfield area. He did justice for his position. The one thing is I've never felt Gareth Southgate. He has that flair and he plays that amazing game. It's always confusing, but you never know. It's just the first game. We'll see how it goes. But for sure, Croatia was not an easy game for England. But he kind of managed to get 3 points. Let's see. I'm actually looking forward to the England-Scotland game. Let's see how it goes, because that's the more rival kind of a game.
Okay. Okay, so let's move on to the second match, which was Austria and North Macedonia. And North Macedonia, I think they scored the first goal in their big competition for the first time. Did
And
you?
in fact, yesterday it was. I think it was Sterling's first competitive goal for England. I think
Goal
In
for
a long
England.
time. Oh.
major
First goal.
competition. His first goal in major competitions. I think. Yeah.
He was so close to missing that also, but yes, it went in.
But actually it was a very good pass by Calvin. He went
Calvin.
past two, and it was
Yeah,
very
he
good.
cut inside and put Sterling through. Nice
Yeah.
movement. Actually, nice movement by Sterling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That goal.
North Macedonia, did you guys expect them to score, or did you expect them to win? Because according to my prediction, North Macedonia actually passes the group stage, according to my prediction.
Pradeep, yes, actually, the match was quite interesting in both the ways, I would say. One is Goran Pandev, still 37 years old. He has done a lot of things, especially in different clubs. He have won a lot of laurels, and when it comes to Austria, Alaba was playing literally good, and it's a wonderful signing for Real Madrid. So both the teams were really good, but for I would say it was really good. Alaba shining in one side, and Gaurav Pandey scoring it for Macedonia.
Yes, so that's what. First of all, very happy for Goran Pandey because I used to like him at Inter. He can be used well in so many tactical things, and now he's getting at the end of his career, and North Macedonia qualifying here for the first time. So I think it is like a perfect farewell for him. So on that side, I think Austria are such a good team. Actually, they could be called one of those dark horses which can go far. Almost all of them from their team plays in Germany, and Sabitzer is there. So a lot of very good players actually, and it was a expected result. I expected them to win the game comfortably, and I think they did.
Okay, so
Nothing to take away from North Macedonia, but yeah.
Okay, but who do you think is going to top the group for Group C? Are North Macedonia likely to go through, or is it going to be Austria and Netherlands?
No, I think it is going to be Austria and Netherlands. And yesterday, somehow they've won their game also. But I think Ukraine have an outside chance after what I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually, they played a really
Against
good game.
Netherlands, it was an amazing game.
Yeah, and they are very good defensively. Actually, see, Ukraine through their qualifying and all, they conceded really less goals. So their problem was going forward, and they look dangerous. Actually, they did have some really good moments. So if they can actually capitalize it, and if they can win against maybe other
North
teams,
Macedonia.
North Macedonia and Austria, they have a realistic chance of going in as well. So I think it is a tough one for both Austria and Ukraine. They will be fighting really hard.
Okay, so what is up with this number of 3? When we started off with Italy, it was 3. And then when we had Belgium match, it was 3. And then yesterday, Brazil, Venezuela, it's 3. What is with this 3
Austria
number?
3.
Austria 3.
Good scoring, lots of scoring games are coming on. Sometimes it's really boring to watch, stay awake in the nights and watch like 0-0 draws or 1-1, like the England game we were talking about. So I think it is good, and I still have to decode what is behind only that 3. It could have been 4 or 5. I think we have to decode, but yes, it's a really good start for the tournament for so many teams.
Yeah, sorry.
Considering the thing that the teams which have scored 3 goals, it was kind of expected because they are capable of scoring goals. They do have a lot of amazing talents in them. Very high profile players. Belgium was I expected them to score more. In fact, they played the way they played. Yeah, so. And England did what they actually do, 1-0.
1-0. I was happy that it was not a free kick or some set piece goal like last World Cup. It was so relieved to see an open game goal. And I wanted to ask about Italy's performance because so far from what I've seen, I think their football was like so far the best. I know it is like too early, but they were just taking it around Turkey, and Turkey is not like I
Yeah,
think
Actually,
this
Turkey
Turkey.
played very
actually,
well first
yeah,
half.
Yeah,
actually, they
Their first
made
half was
Turkey
good.
look very bad a team. They made Turkey look an amateur
In the second half.
team
The second
in the
half.
second half. Yeah, in the second half.
Because first half they were good. See, that's you can clearly see the difference. No, that's the difference between the teams. Turkey gave all and they didn't have legs in the second half. But Italy, it's very obvious that they are
yeah.
very well known for their.
I think Mancini did really well to go back at halftime nil-nil. He wanted to take a better attacking route. He made like an attacking change at halftime. You don't on a first game of the tournament where you're not really clear about everything what Turkey might do. I felt what the change he made to remove Florenzi and bring in another attack-minded player was really important. I think it rounded their attacking threat, which was I think so left-sided in the first half.
Maybe today's match, Spain versus Sweden, the 3-goal curse may break in. That is
Yeah.
my point of view. Probably that would be the interesting match to see. So probably
Okay.
Spain scoring more, and even Sweden is not a light team. Maybe probably even that they are literally good. So probably the 3-0 curse may break or may not break. So let's wait and see.
Okay. So Spain, Sweden tonight, and Poland, Slovakia tonight, and there's also Scotland, Czech Republic. So your predictions on these matches?
I think very, especially Scotland, Czech Republic. I think that people are not looking forward to this game, but it can be a very exciting game because Czech Republic and Scotland are both very good teams, good players, and I expect it to be slightly little more at a higher tempo. Though I feel Scotland will try to look and play from the counter. I am expecting this to be a 2-all draw. I think we have to
You
listen
think
to coaches.
you think it's going to be a goal scoring game?
I think so. Somebody will surely score. If they score one goal, then I think the game will open up. The way I see it, it is not going to be like yesterday's game where England scored and Croatia didn't look like
It,
scoring.
it may be a boring game, maybe a 1-all or 1-0.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
also feel
I also feel the
this
same. Yeah.
fixture looks more like that Wales Switzerland kind of a fixture where
Exactly.
you never
Yeah.
know. I mean, it's very
Ah.
hard to guess the favorite.
Exactly, but that game was actually nice to look. Both teams had lots of chances, especially Wales. After they conceded, which I thought they'll forever sit back and absorb pressure. But
They
after
came.
they scored, yeah, they came and they had even in the last moment they had a chance. I think somebody Bale crossed and somebody was
Yeah.
just slightly
But
ahead. And
but
Switzerland
during the
had
time,
so many chances in the first half. The way they
Switzerland
moved
were
the
kind
ball.
of dominating that game. Ramsey
Yeah.
and Bale came to action very late. It was like they didn't look like they were actually playing. For the
Yeah.
profile Bale has and the weight on his shoulders, it
He
was
didn't
like
look as
very
sharp for sure.
sharp. Ramsey and Bale, probably last half an hour, they were like, after scoring that goal, Wales were like, they
Yeah.
got the boost.
Stop.
Yeah, but coming
yes,
back to this topic, I think it's going to be 1-all draw, like what Malcolm said. I feel
Yeah. Yeah. Even I'll go for a 1-0 or a 1-all draw for Scotland, Czech Republic. And what about Poland, Slovakia? And Slovakia are the ones who actually eliminated Italy in the 2010 World Cup out of the group stages, if you remember.
Yeah, I mean, in 2010, Italy was a really poor team because they had just won in 2006,
Yeah.
and that core players they were all slowly retiring. And
Yeah.
I
So
think
Lippi actually took them because he had to show some gratitude towards the players. So he couldn't change the core team.
yeah. So, but this Italy team, they're so different. They're
Yeah.
not too old, not too young. Lots of very good midfielders. I think Italy's midfielders are one of the best in the tournament for now. Actually, you can compare them with the best of midfield.
Yeah, and they're
Going
young
back,
too. And they're young too.
yeah, Slovakia and Poland. I think this might. What game was it? Slovakia was
Poland,
it?
Slovakia, yeah.
Yeah,
Poland.
I think, yeah, this is going to be more boring, I guess, because both of them are slightly defensive-minded teams, and you honestly don't know what to expect from this game. So maybe for this, uh, Poland, I think, have an upper hand because though they have Lewandowski, though he hasn't been very good for them, for at least for Poland. Though he's still a good player, and I think he can break his what do you call under par performances for Poland this season. Apart from that, there is Zielinski, who has been good for Napoli, and he's just hitting 27. He might be in his prime, but apart from that, Slovakia again they can be underdogs because so Slovakia's defense is so good. You have like a title winner in Skriniar. He's just won his title with Inter, and Hamsik is one of my personal favorite players for a long time. I think he's slightly underrated, and he's still going on. Like Goran Pandev. I've been seeing him for the last like maybe 8-10 years. Uh, I don't know if he'll play first of all, but he can be a very creative player for them. He used to always be for Slovakia, especially the match you mentioned. I think last World Cup or something like that, he was still running the show. I think they played a game against England. I don't remember which tournament it was. He was just pulling strings from midfield, and England had no answers. So I hope he plays though.
Hmm.
Slovakia, I mean, they are kind of a decent side. They have, like you said, Hamsik is there, Skriniar is there, Dubravka is the keeper, I guess.
Yeah, he's
Plays for Newcastle.
Newcastle.
They
Yeah,
do have a quite decent team, but I feel it's going to be an easy one for Poland.
yeah.
2-0.
Okay.
2-0.
Probably Lewandowski would steal the show in today's match. That's my part of decision
Yeah.
for maybe.
I'll go for 1-0 Poland.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm also going for 1-0 Poland.
Probably
And I hope
2-0.
Lewandowski.
2-0 Poland. Okay. Okay, what about the last game? Spain.
This is the most
Spain,
exciting game. I think one of the trickiest games. See, Spain have had so many problems. I think Busquets, he got affected by COVID, and a lot of these players were isolated and doing their own training sessions separately. So the manager Luis Enrique, he was ready to pick another squad actually, and he hasn't picked any Madrid players. So all this has been in talk. So I think in terms of full fitness and full mental sharpness, I think they might be behind, but though we have not seen. And apart from that, see, this is not, we have all seen Spain play over the last previous decade. They've done like a treble of international tournaments, Euro, World Cup, again another Euro. This is no way even half close to those teams. But this team certainly has a lot of players who can do quite well. But it completely depends on the manager what sort of football he's going to play. If he tries to play that tiki-taka football which the previous Spain teams play, I feel it will be like early goodbye for Spain. But I think if he tries to play like a slightly English game kind of thing, where he also is good on the counter, tries to move the ball quick and plays a direct football, which I think he has players for, I think they can do well. So Sweden, on the other hand, they've been very stable. They've done decently well. I personally miss Ibrahimovic, so I was looking forward to him, playing, and it was disappointing not to see him. And I think Sweden will definitely try to go all out against Spain, though they will be defensive. I don't think they're going to be scared about this Spain team, not like the previous Spain teams where opponents will be scared. They'll try to definitely go and win the game. And I think if they win, they might have a easy route to top the group.
Okay. So predictions, Malcolm.
Probably 2-2 because seen this probably we need to see the squad. And the next thing is, like as Abhi said, even the Euro qualifiers in 2019 between Spain and Sweden has been a draw. It's 1-1. So probably the prediction would be 2-2. If not, Spain performs well, they would break the 3-0 barrier.
The lucky number 3 for this tournament.
Okay.
I was kind of about to say that I feel this is going to be another that goal
Okay.
game.
Okay.
3-0 for Spain. The other thing is it going to be Unai who starts or De Gea is the main?
I know. I think it will be De Gea purely because of experience.
Yeah.
But I would be tempted to sit him if they're trying to play out from the back, which he's really, really bad at. De Gea. I mean, all United fans will know. And apart from that, their midfield is again Spain's midfield is so superb. The problem with Spain is their forwards. I think Gerard Moreno has had a good season. Alvaro Morata, we know how he plays. Like he is a good player inside the box, but he doesn't seem to finish. Some of his movements, sometimes I do like it, though people give him too much a troll, and rightly so. But he can be useful, but they have to take their chances because their midfielders will definitely create chances. You have Koke, you have Thiago, so many good midfielders. You have Olmo in attacking midfield. So if they want speed, complete speed, they have Adama Traore also. So they have lots of players who can actually make a lot of difference. But completely depends on the combination the manager is going to pick. I think it will be like the same challenge Gareth Southgate is having for England.
But Abhi, I wanted to ask you, I mean, like, as you said, midfield, but even the defensive plays a major role, right? We can't predict who would be the
Yeah, correct. I think defensively they're actually weak. Not the strongest Spain team. They were weak even with sometimes PK and Ramos over the like maybe last 2-3 years. They did concede a lot of goals. So they are, I think, slightly weak considering Jordi Alba, who will definitely start. He's also on the wrong side of 30s. Although he's still, I like him personally as a player. Yeah, very good point actually, Malcolm. Defensively, I don't know. Like they have Pau Torres, they have Laporte, who has snubbed to play for France and is coming to play for Spain. Even if he fails like one game, they'll start trolling him. Pau Torres, he's still young, 24 years old. So there'll be too much pressure on him. Plus, it's a big tournament. So, what combination he'll go? I would personally go for Azpilicueta because like one of the safest players I know. If I put him on right back or left back or center back, I can trust him. So if I have to start some defender, I think it will be Pau Torres with Azpilicueta, where one of them is experienced and Pau Torres is fast and can actually also play out from the back. But yes, their wing backs are also like slightly. We have to see if he's going for 3 at the back or what exactly.
I think he'll go with 4. I think it's going to be Laporte, Torres, Azpilicueta, and Jordi Alba at the back.
Yeah.
And he'll play Rodri and Pedri. The thing is, Moreno or Morata or both of them might play. I mean, Gerard Moreno can play on Ferran Torres on the the 4-3-3, the third
position. Side, I think Ferran Torres will play. What do you think? Do you think Thiago will play deeper or he'll play like number 10? Which both I think he's good at, considering they have Pedri and
Rodri and Rodri and Pedri are there. I think if he is going to make Thiago play, it's going to be more up,
like number 10,
upper side of the field, more on the attacking side, because Rodri is a strong
Very strong player, and he's been playing very well for City.
Very well.
Nobody has spoken about it.
Pep has provided and taken out all the talents. They have improved a lot under Pep Guardiola.
Yeah.
And Luis Enrique is also not a new manager for them. And he's a very good profile manager. So he'll easily he knows how to handle. I mean, I don't think defensively it will be a problem for Spain, and that too. I mean, it's all due respect, not letting down Sweden, but Sweden, any day Spain would easily,
do you think? Okay. But my equation is because of this COVID and like this unsettled mind, right? So other teams, because right now so many teams train well, and that physical aspect of it. Do you think it might?
I understand, but I don't think that's going to be a big problem for them. I mean, they've started training, and COVID nowadays, it's not a new thing for everyone. It's become like a malaria, dengue. So I don't think it's going to affect them a lot in that sense. But let's see. I mean, they haven't played yet. It's their first game. You never know. Sweden might give a shock.
Okay,
as well,
guys.
But...
Your predictions. Spain prediction.
3-0. 3-0.
3-0. Abhishek.
2-1 Sweden.
2-1 to Sweden. Malcolm.
2-2 or 2-0 Spain.
Okay.
Malcolm, you just said you're going to.
What is your prediction?
I said three, but I'm still thinking about the defensive part. I wanted them to score, but I'm still thinking about the defensive part.
I'll go with 1-0 to Spain.
1-0 to Spain.
1-0 to Spain. Yes.
If they are good, if Spain is going to score, then I think they'll score more than one.
I feel the same. But somehow I feel they won't touch the lucky number 3 for this game.
Probably United man Lindelof would stop them. Huh?
Oh my God. I think he plays better for Sweden actually, because he's playing at a 3-man defense. Where at United he's partnered with Harry Maguire, who's one person is slow, the other person is like not strong. It's like a combination for catastrophe. But I think Sweden, they've been good actually through their qualifiers. They've been a good unit, and I think the current coach has actually improved them. So even without Zlatan, I think they seem to be confident. I feel they are actually confident coming into the tournament. So that is exactly why I'm going for Sweden to upset Spain.
Okay. So let's not forget about the Copa match that's happening tonight, which is early morning of Argentina, because Brazil is now topping the other group. So now Argentina take on Chile. So how is Messi going to fare in this?
One last ride probably for him. Sanchez is injured, so probably. But we couldn't say that Chile is not a bad team, and they've been literally an amazing team in 2015 and 2016, and still Bravo stopping in the post, doing an amazing job. So probably it must be 2-0 or 1-1. Argentina 1-1 or Argentina going 2-0, winning 2-0.
Okay. Sudarshan.
I think tough. Okay, Sudarshan, go on.
Yeah, so whatever.
It's a very tough game to predict, because both are very good sides, and again both have very good footballers.
Okay. Sudarshan, sorry to interrupt. I just want to ask you, since you are into coaching and all of that, so just tell us why the Euros are totally kind of different in terms of gameplay, and why the Copa America is totally different in terms of game speed and the gameplay.
It's natural. We all know about the South American football. They are more into passing, and I personally feel physicality part is comparatively less, and the technical part is more in South American football. Right. And it's a flair. Most of the teams, we can just sit and watch, and it's like awe kind of a thing. You just go like, what a
Yeah.
game they are playing.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's all,
when I was watching the Brazil Venezuela game, I was like, the ball that was passed at a speed like a shot, but then it was stopped as if it was coming slow. So the ball that actually has to be made with a small power is then given a lot of power, but then the other guy stops it as if it just came as a normal pass, and
they
then
just
they just
the
carry on.
South
Yeah,
American teams, they just love their game. They play with that fun factor, which
exactly.
is
Mostly
in
street
Europe it is
football.
more competitive, and you have to
Yeah.
win physicality. South America, they just
Yeah, they see
for
football
fun they
differently. Yeah, and like street football, like Europe, so many clubs are there. They're getting players at like 9, 10, 11. It's a different, I think, education itself there. Whereas South America being like slightly less, they're not as rich as Europe. Like the countries, many of them are developing. So like football comes from more from the streets, and then they are scouted into clubs. Here, I think Europe, the whole system is like more evolved, more tactical. So you do this, I'll try to stop that by doing something else. So South American football is slightly more free flowing. That is why I think most still now Neymar is like the most free flowing player at this point, or most of the South Americans. Whereas European players are like little more tactical. They have like good touches and all that. But if you see the classic Brazilian teams, that Brazil team of 2002 to 2006, I think
that
still
team
South America is
you
the
don't
only
even need
one.
to manage that team. You just ask them to go inside and play and come, they'll win 5-0 and come easy.
No, they don't have to
Yeah,
play actually. They just go stand there, the lined up, take a photo, and show the photo to the opposing team. They'll give a walkover and just walk away.
I know. So it's yeah, football is come mainly from the streets there. I think that is what makes the whole South American football special.
It's a
I think
very,
there should be
very
more coverage
valid
of
point.
South American football should be there in India, because the way I see it, I think their fans are equally passionate. They are like their rivalries are like little more these days. To be very honest, these classic rivalries like Milan derby or Manchester United versus Liverpool, that same rivalry that used to be there like 5, 10 years back, it's slowly dying down. Whereas in South America, that rivalry is still there. They're so fiery games. They'll go on for tackles. So I think South American football, I hope it improves actually, and more
It's
coverage is being.
actually a very, very good point what Abhi made. The game comes from their streets. Whereas in Europe, no, they have like uh, you can find many of them playing in a proper pitch in Europe, but it's like how we play gully cricket. It's like
Yeah,
South
Yeah,
American football. That. And I think it's the first match. No, I think Argentina and Chile is in
for
yeah,
their
the
it's
group.
it's the first match.
The first match. Uruguay is also there in that group. I mean, it's
Yeah, I
going to be a
think
very good.
Argentina is going to have a tough time more than Brazil because these guys are placed with a lot of a tougher team.
Lot of
I think it's Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay,
Yeah,
Argentina,
Argentina.
and
it's
one more.
Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Paraguay, and Uruguay.
Bolivia.
But Brazil has Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Venezuela. So Venezuela they just bet yesterday. So I think Ecuador, Colombia had easy win, but not by margin of 3 or something. They just had one goal win over Ecuador. So I think Brazil shouldn't have a problem with Ecuador as well, and Peru as well. So I think Brazil is easily going to top the charts on Group A. But Group
yeah,
B,
they'll definitely come
It's
more
going to be a
open.
tough competition for them.
yeah, but
Yeah, and
Group B,
anybody
you
can.
can
So
never say, yeah,
yeah,
Group you can't predict.
yeah,
so
And the other thing is there's going to be a very good competition now between Messi, Ronaldo, and Chetri scored two against
oh
Bangladesh.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Who's known
yeah,
for their country. I mean, they are going. I mean,
yeah.
I don't
We have the
still
Afghanistan
have
match
this
happening
mind and
tomorrow.
play, but still.
Yeah, so we have the Afghanistan match happening tomorrow. I think Chetri would score. I definitely think Chetri would score
I
because
think also he'll
yeah,
score.
but they
A
just have to.
draw or a win.
All three captains are playing tomorrow. Chetri, Messi, and
Yeah.
Ronaldo.
Yeah. I think it's a
National
very
icons.
special day. It's a very special
I
day.
don't know if Ronaldo knows this. Cristiano Ronaldo knows this. If he ends up
He,
knowing this stat, he'll surely
does he
try to
look?
get a penalty or he'll scold some striker for not passing the ball to him so that he can score and break the record, I guess.
I don't think they really think about this in their mind and play. Ronaldo, if he thinks, he'll be thinking more of Messi, not
Messi,
Chetri.
yeah, yeah,
I know, just fun.
But Chetri will be thinking about both of them, I'm sure.
yeah. Yeah, I think
So,
it's a very important day tomorrow, as Sudarshan said. It's very important day that three captains are playing tomorrow. Argentina in Copa America, India in the World Cup qualification, and Ronaldo on Euros.
yeah. So,
But all
Sudarshan, do you think
draw, right?
Messi can actually help Argentina win this time? Because I know like it's not like a one-man job, but he has not won a single major tournament for Argentina, and he's coming after it's like kind of a negative season for if you compare Barcelona standards. But he's still been the best player for Barcelona. Whatever they're trying to
I
do good,
see.
it is through him.
I personally feel that he's going to play how he actually plays. But I personally feel that he doesn't have any motivation kind of a thing when he plays for Argentina. I don't know, but uh, it's always been like Messi. He retired and he came back, and again,
I know.
they put the pressure on his shoulders. But he's going to do just what he does. I mean, I don't think he's going to carry Argentina. He's just going to be like play like how he plays in the regularly. Whereas you see, Ronaldo, the passion he shows when he plays for Portugal,
Yeah.
and he'll be motivated because he won a Euros. They won, and they won the Nations League as well.
Yeah.
That's going to
Like
be
actually,
more.
Yeah, and I think they're coming in as the group favorites because even in my prediction, I felt France might fall back on the third place, and I think Germany and Portugal would actually advance from that group.
France is going to go out, is it?
I feel France might finish third.
I think
The
France
quality
will
France has, they
yeah,
are easily the
But
most
contenders.
but
Yeah.
then they have their own internal problems going on with
They do have, yeah, they do have, they do have
Giroud and
Giroud and
Mbappe and
Benzema,
yeah.
Mbappe
I
and
think
all.
Deschamps is I think he is just a manager who can handle all of this well. Because looking at their past, I think he's put the team, what do you call team morale or team chemistry first. No matter how good a player you are, he's made them sit. So the fact that he has called Benzema, I'm sure he would have already done what he has to do to make sure the whole team morale is not spoiled. And I saw some of their practice games. They still look one of the best teams. The thing is, they can play different sort of football.
Benzema, the Giroud, they have Kante.
I know exactly. They still look so sharp. They can play slightly defensive if they want and still be the best team. They can play attacking football and be the best. And they can, to be honest, they can also play tiki-taka football and be the best. So there are like so many things that they can do in a single match depending on the opponent. So
Yeah,
they're
but
still the
I
favorite.
think I think all of this would be answered tomorrow with Germany taking on France. I think that is like
Yeah,
one of the most crucial games for
yeah.
France because
And
Portugal might have it easy against Hungary.
Pradeep, as you
Yeah.
said, tomorrow, yes, everybody, all the teams, like we would be watching India, Afghanistan, but everybody's thing would be pretty. I mean, Indian kind of football would be on India versus Afghanistan because a draw or a win would qualify them for the Asian Championship.
Yeah. Third
So
round of
hopefully,
Asian Cup qualifiers 2023.
But again, there is another round of qualifiers. So yes, I think I saw another video of yours, which was actually good. Some good football actually we played against Bangladesh. But to be very honest, I don't know how. Still, we have a long way to go, is what I felt, because I thought that we could have played an even better game. Considering we have such a huge nation and Bangladesh is just like the
Yeah.
other
I
side of
actually explained it
West
in that
Bengal.
video. I actually
Yeah,
explained it in that video about the last 2018 World Cup qualifiers where we were
Guam.
placed below Guam. Guam is like you'll have to literally
Guam
find
is
that nation.
smaller than Andaman Nicobar Islands or something like that, I
Yeah,
guess. I'm
yeah.
not sure.
It's India is basically 6,000 and sometimes bigger than Guam. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big day for all football fans tomorrow because
Yeah, but all we can do
Argentina
is
is playing, Portugal is playing, India is playing, but then India not in the World Cup or some important competition like Euros or something, but still.
see, I think I got this realization little late. I think all we can do is just watch and support.
Yeah,
For now, that is the only thing we can do, or maybe make a change around what is happening around us, like local grassroots, like Sudarshan is a coach, and you do your stuff. So I think we should do things whatever is in our control. I think football will is sort of going to become big because I think football so traditionally started early in India. It just kind of died off.
yeah,
But to
the
be honest,
biggest,
it had
yeah,
an early start. So
the
football
biggest
is just
curse.
going that slower evolution here in India.
Yeah, the biggest curse being the 1983
The
World Cup.
World Cup.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think that was like the biggest curse. So Sudarshan, do you want to add something about why uh, something like this is happening in India, where we got placed below Guam into a 2018 World Cup qualifiers?
See, it's a we can go on and go on and go on and talk
I
about
know.
it because it's a very vast topic. The other thing is, I would like to come back to the point what Abhi made. The only thing we can do is watch the Indian match, watch the game. That is more than what we can do. I mean, the more number of views, it's going to become more famous. The other thing is, when we talk about this nation kind of a thing, I personally feel that because we are such a big nation, it's becoming a problem because many of them say that there are so many people in India, this big population. Why can't we find 13 best
11
players?
players.
That is the actual problem. We have such a vast population. That is why it's tough.
Yeah.
Could be
You
right.
understand
Yeah,
the point?
yeah, because
That's
if it's just Tamil Nadu, like Tamil players will get along mentally. Then all of a sudden, you pick a player from Tamil Nadu who might not have played with a player from Bengal. Then you don't know if they'll mentally sync. It is like
because
it
people,
could be.
I've seen people, they easily say that we are such a vast nation. Why can't we find good, best 15 players? The actual problem is we are such a vast nation. That is why we are not able to find it. And the other thing is we've been Indian football. We've been called as sleeping giants for many years.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Also,
personally feel that what I've discussed, I've told this to Abhi as well, that uh, it's not being drastic change, but still we are improving. We are
yeah, we are.
slowly
I can
coming
see
up.
that.
We are very
I can
slowly
see that.
coming up. That is the problem. The other thing is, in our nation, we 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 are trying to buy good players rather
Mhm.
than building good players from the grassroots.
Exactly. We
Yeah,
still
Don't
so
don't
have
have
that's
that
yeah,
footballing
that's
Point.
philosophy yet.
I think we spoke
Uh,
about this
we
earlier
want
with
to
Abhishek,
we want
with
to easily we
top
want to
down
easily
approach.
go. We have to
yeah,
we want to easily go up top of the ladder, but the foundation has to be strong. We buy millions and millions, we spend so much money on players rather than spending that for grassroots
yeah.
programs.
Give the kid some,
Where you
footballing
develop
kid. Go pay the
give
coach as well.
Yeah,
Also, I
I
think
think
we should
I
think
think we
of
have
that
to
has
take
started now.
Yeah, I
That has
think
started only now. So I
Yeah.
feel now down the line,
yeah,
Line.
another 10,
might
12
be a
years.
good change.
Yeah, another
What
10, 12
happened?
years. Yeah. So I think we'll
Sudarshan,
have to take
2005
inspiration
and all.
from.
See, Pradeep, when we were playing football in 2005, we didn't have so many academies.
yeah,
We,
yeah,
Now
yeah.
we
That's
we
another
never had
point.
a turf. We
every
never
street
had a
has
turf.
a
We never played
Yeah,
in grass.
every street has an academy now. You
yeah,
turn
yeah, yeah,
everywhere. So this is a very good thing happening now. So
yeah,
let's wait now. We've been telling
yeah.
we'll wait, we'll wait. Now is
Sudarshan,
the time
like,
to actually wait
Yeah,
and
and
see.
and I think I'll have to add this point when I spoke to the Belgian football journalist Sven.
yeah,
He actually shared some information about Belgium, how they actually got knocked out from the group stages when they co-hosted in 2000, and from then they literally went on to build from the grassroots, and then in I think in 2012 is when Lukaku, De Bruyne, they all kind of like were coming up, and then 2018 was the time that they like literally went to the top. So I think from 2000 till 2018, it's almost 18 years. So as Sudarshan said, we'll have to wait, and until we wait, we just have to keep supporting by at least watching the matches and talking about the
That's
But
matches.
that's
they
good.
still
okay.
waited and they came back as a favorite in the Russia's World Cup, right? Like I mean Belgium. They literally proved them.
Sudarshan, I just have like one last question about this. Do you think that the league structure in India is like too short for players to actually improve? Because like ISL is like the premier, like top level league, and ISL is for a few months. Where like you see in Europe or maybe South America or even MLS, it is a longer thing. They play together for 8 months. They bond with each other. They have to go out. So they see each other in training compared to just all of a sudden these foreign players or even Indian players coming and staying for like just 2 months. How much can you take within the 2 months to actually improve in your game? Or Sudarshan has got electricity now, very good. So so,
DMK.
what do you think about the structure? Do you think we should like make it more teams and like longer league where it is played week in, week out, all through the year? Do you
See,
think that will help?
again, this question, no, again, it's a big either to discuss. The major thing is now ISL is being recognized in few countries. Now it is,
Yeah,
it is it has
it's the
become
start.
more known league. It has
Uh,
become more known league now. I feel what the format now they are having is kind of different to other European leagues. I
yeah,
personally feel that now, since they've extended with more teams, the other thing is the other leagues have 20 teams.
I know.
So the
Basic.
duration is
Yeah,
we are having very less teams, and the other factor is I feel what they are doing now is fine as of now. When more teams come, and the format is going to change now. I'll tell you in the 2 years down the line, it's going to be a relegation and promotion kind of a thing. So
yeah,
ISL
I read about that.
get relegated to I League, and
I
uh,
League would get promoted to the
the
ISL.
format is
Memorial
going to change.
wise.
Yeah,
Format is
I
going to change. So they are working on it. This thing, this relegation and promotion this thing might help them extend the timings and the days of the league. And again, like what I said, no, it's happening now. Let's wait.
Yeah, I think actually, to be really honest, I know we have like been like having like negative talks about Indian football, but to be completely honest, over the past couple of years and now seeing the number of content creators on YouTube and general people talking about football, I am actually so optimistic about it. So it is, I think the work we had started putting like 10 years back, at least talking about it, whenever we met, it is like taking a new evolution. Now, so many younger guys are talking. So that thing itself is so actually positive. But yeah, we can do like the organizing committee. Yeah, they can do their part. But within the people, I think the game has definitely grown, and that makes me happy actually.
Every league has its own pros and cons,
Yeah, yeah,
but uh, things are getting better. Again, what I'm trying to say is things are getting better, but it's it is happening very slowly.
Yeah, rate of
Uh,
speed is like too slow.
Rate of speed is kind of very slow, but still, no, this is the right time to wait. Things have started in a positive note.
Yeah,
2 3 years down the line, business, let it be business mind. Fine, at least there
yeah, I
people are
know,
coming and investing.
I know.
So we'll see what happens. And like this again, like what we discussed, if we more of them, watching Indian games will attract more attention. Then media will come in. So all we can do is support Indian games. I wonder how many of them even know that India is playing a game tomorrow. I don't know.
Exactly.
I know.
Few most of them from this video might Apriya, okay, tomorrow is India playing, when they watch now Pradeep's
I know, I know.
at least 20% of them will be, oh, okay, India is playing tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully, I think like uh, every a new person we can add up to this like closed circuit of people who watch Indian football. I think it is that is actually like the win.
Yeah,
So
that is
every one more
that
person.
yeah, that is the most influential thing that you can do. Thanks a lot for joining, guys. I think we had an interesting
And
discussion about today's Euros and tomorrow's Copa and tomorrow's India's match. So I think I'll be planning out a watch along for India's match, and I think let's see what we can do together.
thanks,
Thank you
Pradeep.
so much.
Thanks,
Thank you,
thanks,
guys.
Abhi.
Bye
Bye
bye.
Bye
bye.
bye
Thank you.
guys.